Each month, we help financially support 20 different Second Amendment content creators on the Patreon platform. And for the next 5 months, we're going to challenge you to do the same. We call it $2 for 2A. We're encouraging you to spend $20 each month on 10 different content creators. We hope we're one of them. To get you started, we're going to show you the 20 Second Amendment content creators we support.
Next up is another smaller channel you may or may not have heard of, but if you remember gun channels, I'm sure you have. And that's Rick's Life as I See It. With just 10 subscribers, Rick is definitely not one of the largest channels on Patreon, nor is Rick trying to do this for the money as far as I'm aware, but he is a host of a regular conversation each Wednesday called Shooting Disabilities, where he brings all different kinds of people on to chat about difficulties with firearms and dealing with shooting when you've got physical issues. Then on Saturdays he hosts Rick's Life as I See It, where he has more of a general conversation where he offers a little perspective as someone who was born in the US, lived in England, and then moved back to the United States and lived on the East Coast. He had something like 8 or 9 CCWs in order to conceal carry in Rhode Island and be able to move around with any amount of freedom, quote unquote. And Rick is a butcher, so he brings all kinds of different life experience to the mix. He offers, or he hosts, an interesting live conversation a couple of times a week. He's not as active as he used to be joining into other conversations, but I don't know if that's a factor of Rick not being active or the other conversations not being there. And that's part of what we're trying to do here, is encourage more of that live conversation, that live community that can thrive when there's people out there contributing to it. So our goal here is to get people to contribute to different gun content creators, and if you're looking for something interesting, one of the few people focused on shooting with disabilities, and we encourage you to check out Rick's Life as I See It over on Patreon. All right, next up we got to scroll down a little bit. The second is for everyone. So Tony Simon out of New Jersey has the diversity shoot. He has the Minuteman challenge, and then he's got the second is for everyone. So he's got a couple of different projects going on. Right now he's got just 87 Patreons, less than $1,000 coming in each month. And if you're not familiar with Tony, he's doing interesting stuff. The elevator version is he's a Marine. An ex-Marine who moved to New Jersey years ago, didn't like the situation with firearms, decided to do something about it. For years now, a couple of times a month, they'll bring people out to an indoor range or a range in New Jersey and let people have an orientation, a familiarization with firearms, and if they're interested, some time on the range with a little range time. Bringing people into the mix. He calls it the diversity shoot for a reason. He reaches out to everyone and brings people in to experience and become familiar with firearms. He's been doing that for a long time, and like some others, in addition to just doing the boots on the ground real work, he's additionally bringing his camera along and sharing that and attempting to bring other people both aware and into the mix. So Tony's doing great stuff. He's a regular guest on people's shows, and he podcasts himself. He attends events when he can. And imagine again, when Tony's from 87 supporters up to 870 supporters, what kind of inspiration and what kind of ambassador he'll be able to, those resources will allow him to be. That's what we're doing this for, is to make people aware of projects like Tony's, the 2A4E.
The guys and gals at gun websites encourage you to take a CCW course every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching GunWebsites.com.